So the first part of this homework is a table. So whenever you've got a table like this, usually it's the same method and we're just applying it 4 different times. So let's look at that. I'll get myself some working paper, and you can see I've got my calculator there as well. So first of all, we look at the initial amount and the final amount, and we think about the change. What is the change in this case? The change is the larger amount to take away the smaller amount. When we do that, we can either do it using a calculator or we can do it manually. 148, this is the change. Okay, to find the change as a percentage, we have to write it as a fraction with the change over the original. Not necessarily the biggest one, but the original, because we're looking at how it's changed from where it started, okay? So in this case, that's going to be the change is 148, and the original, or the initial they've used here, amount was 129. So this is where we do have to use our calculator. You can either use the fraction button, or if you don't have a fraction button, you can just divide. 148 divided by 129 equals, strangely enough, 148 over 129. So we press the S arrow D button, which gives us the fraction as a decimal, but we want it as a percentage, so we then have to multiply by 100, which gives me another fraction, not useful, decimal, 114.7 something. Okay, so we'll round that up to, to one decimal place, so we'll round that up to 114.7. Now that means it has changed by more than the original amount, because it's changed by more than 100%. So 114.7%. And then we need to decide, is it an increase or is it a decrease? Well, have a look. Has it gone up or has it gone down? It's gone up, so it's going to be an increase. Let's have a look at the next one. This time we're starting with 68, so our original amount is 68. Our final amount is 100. Okay, so what we're going to do first of all is we're going to find the change. Okay, so the change, remember, is whatever the biggest number is, take away whatever the smallest number is. So it's going to be 100 take away 68, and that doesn't require too much. Just remember, I really need to turn my phone on silent when I do these videos. That doesn't require us to do too much calculation. That's 32. Okay, so that is my increase or decrease. It might have changed, but that is my change. So to find my percentage change, remember what we do? We look at our change as a fraction over our original, or in this case we called it the initial amount. Initial, can't spell, which means we're looking at 32 over 68. Again, that's not something I can do in my head. If you can, well done. 32 divided by 68. I'm not even going to bother changing it to a decimal because I need to times it by 100 first. Now I'll change it to a decimal, 47.058. So if we round that to one decimal place, that's going to be 47.1. Write that into our space, 47.1. Is it an increase or is it a decrease? Well, has it gone up or has it gone down? It's gone up, it's an increase. Right, next one. So again, we've got an initial amount of 591 and a final amount of 522. First of all, find out how much it's changed by. So the change is this time 591 take away 522, and that difference, that change, is 69. That's how much it's changed by. So to find the percentage change, remember we look at the change as a fraction compared to the initial amount. Okay, started correctly this time, which means I'm looking at my fraction of 69 over 591. Get the calculator out. Times it by 100, and we end up with 11.67. So round it to one decimal place, 11.7. Write that into your answer space, or type that into your answer space rather. And this time, is it an increase or a decrease? Well, 591 to 522, that's gone down. It's got smaller, it's a decrease. Similar here, exactly the same method. And you can see straight away, 89 to 43, that's definitely going to be a decrease. Right then, second page, we've got a worded question. We have a height of a tree when it's planted is this. 1 year later, it's this. So let's think about what we were doing before. What the initial height, really cannot spell today, the initial height is 1.2. The final height is 1.8. The change, what is the change in height? 0.6 meters. Okay, so to find it as a percentage change, it's going to be 0.6 over the initial height. Really important to do that. 1.2. I don't even need a calculator to do that. Hopefully you don't, because 0.6 is half of 1.2. So the increase is 50%. Just in case you don't believe me, okay. Start of his diet, Karen weighed this. So that's his initial 15 stone 9. So I think I need some paper for this one. Okay. So for this one we've got our initial weight is 15 stone 9. Notice I haven't put 15.9 because that is only used for metric measurements. This is not metric. 3 months later, so that's the end or the final, the end of his diet, he weighed 14 stone 7. Okay. Now, before we even start working out his reduction as a number, as a percentage, we need to think about converting that into just pounds. And it tells you here there are 14 pounds in a stone. So the initial weight is 15 stones. That's 15 times 14. And then 9 pounds extra, which is 219 pounds. And that's the sign, the symbol, sorry, for pounds, LB. Then for the final weight, we've got 14 times 14, because it's 14 lots of 14 pounds. Add on the extra 7, it gives us 203. Okay, so let's work out the change. How many pounds did Karen lose? So we've got to do 219. Sorry, I've messed my colours up, but never mind. I think by now you're happy with the method. 219 take 203 is 16, so his change was 16 pounds, which, in case you're interested, just over a stone, which means it's about, I don't know what I'm saying, I've got no idea what it is in kilos. Use Alexa or Google or something. That's what we do in our house anyway. Right, so percentage change, digress, is the change divided by the initial, which is 219. Okay, we'll put that into our calculator. 16 divided by 219 equals this. Multiply it by 100 because we want a percentage. Put it as a decimal, 7.3. Okay. So that's our answer. We write it in here, 1 decimal place, 7.3%. We already know it's a reduction because it tells us. The reason that's worth 4 marks is because of the conversions from stones to pounds. But otherwise, it's just the same as the other questions.